at NPR Fresh Air. Fresh Air's executive producer is Danny Miller. Our technical director and engineer is Audrey Bentham. Our interviews and reviews are produced and edited by Phyllis Myers, Anne-Marie Baldonado, Sam Brigger, Lauren Krenzel, Teresa Madden, Monique Nazareth, Thea Challoner, Susan Yakundi, and Anna Bauman. Our digital media producer is Molly Seavey-Nesper. Roberta Shorrock directs the show. For Terry Gross and Tanya Mosley, I'm Dave Davies.
Support for NPR comes from the station and from Ooma, a cloud-based phone service for any size business with an automated virtual receptionist, video meetings, and other features to connect to customers and coworkers anywhere at ooma.com/NPR. And from Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Learn more at Viking.com.
Fresh Air with Terry Gross is underwritten by the Davis H. Elliott Company, an electrical contractor serving the needs of industry and government since 1946. Davis H. Elliott Company. Most Radio IQ listeners have IRAs, 401ks, and use a variety of other financial products. If your company offers money management or brokerage services, becoming an underwriter on Radio IQ would be a sound investment for your business, and it's easy to do. Email us at wvtfcorporatesupport@vt.edu.
Hey, Chairman, at this time I will open the floor for nominations for the position of Chairman for year 2025.
Mr. Chairman, it is my honor to nominate our good friend and colleague David Radford to be Chairman of the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors for the calendar year 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Mahoney. There being no one else, Supervisor Radford has been nominated for the position of Chairman, and there being no further nominations for the position of Chair, I will now close the nominations. If there are no further nominations, Closing it will result in voting. The chair leads the vote. We will now vote on the nominations. Supervisor Radford has been nominated for chair. All those in favor of electing Supervisor Radford as chairman say aye. All those opposed, nay. I will call the vote. Ms. Hooker.
Aye.
Mr. Radford.
Abstain.
Mr. Mahoney.
Aye.
Ms. Shepherd.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. The ayes have it, and Supervisor Radford is elected as chairman. We will now change seats, and you can leave your nameplate at your current seat until the conclusion of the organizational meeting.
Musical chairs.
And Mr. Radford, I present to you a personalized note for you to read when you have a... Thank you.
Well, that was a peaceful transformation.
Transformation.
Transfer. We now move to item B, Vice Chairman. We open the floor for nominations for the position of Vice Chair. At this time, the floor is open.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to at this time nominate our Supervisor North for the position of Vice Chair for the year 2025.
Supervisor North has been nominated for the position of Vice Chair. Are there any other nominations for the position of Vice Chairman? Seeing none, I close the nominations and flip the page. We will now vote for the nomination. Supervisor North has been nominated for vice chairman. All those in favor of electing Supervisor North as vice chairman will say aye. Those opposed say nay. I will call the vote. Ms. Hooker.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. North.
Abstain?
Thank you. Mr. Mahoney.
Aye.
Ms. Shepherd.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. Supervisor North is elected as vice chairman. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Item C, new business, resolution adopting a code of ethics and conduct for the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors. County Attorney Peter Lubick. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Earlier this year, members of the board, understanding that several other Virginia local governing bodies have adopted codes of ethics and conduct for their members, proposed that this board develop and adopt such a code. Staff researched and provided several examples of such codes to members of the board, and Supervisors Hooker and Mahoney led the effort of preparing a draft and soliciting informally feedback from each of you. The goal of adopting this code of ethics and conduct is to ensure that the highest standards of integrity and dignity are preserved so that the public can continue to maintain high levels of confidence in their institutions of local government. It has been proposed that the board annually review and adopt such a code of conduct and ethics, and I have prepared a resolution for your consideration and adoption of the code that you have prepared, and staff certainly applaud the board for this initiative. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Lubick. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I move to approve the resolution.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion among the board for the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I have one quick comment. Just in that the conversations that led to this and to the work that Mr. Mahoney and I did to compile several ordinances, codes that were out there and looked at various opportunities for those codes to be into one that we could use. We have an excellent board currently. I have the utmost respect for every board member, and I think the feeling is mutual among us. We're a good team.
Right.
And, but just as a matter of good governance and protection for the staff, providing a clear framework for ethical decision-making, it protects the organization from legal and financial risks, and just truly enhances our reputation. So I really believe that this is a good and honorable thing to move forward on. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I have a comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. North.
Firstly, I would like to thank both Vice Chair Hooker as well as Mr. Mahoney for their efforts in going through the multiple copies of examples from around the Commonwealth. And we want to thank Virginia counties in particular for sharing their examples with us. As a matter of fact, what also helped prompt this was we were asked by Virginia counties to share just this document from a class I took on governance in getting certified as a supervisor this past year. And so it fit in nicely time-wise. But what also surprised me is that because we didn't really need this per se amongst the five of us here and didn't have it in the past, ever how many years that's been, we want to protect the example that this board represents before future boards, and so that they can understand the rules of engagement and we don't inherit any problems we didn't plan for. So I plan on not only sharing this document around the county, as I'm sure Ms. Hooker will at VACO, but there's probably a good number of people around here that we got examples from. We probably should share with them as needed. But you know what? It was a surprise to me that we didn't have something like this in place. In fact, when the topic came up, I went and got our board rules on parliamentary procedure and made sure that what was in there was shared with VACO. But this took the best of the best from around the state. And you'd be surprised at some of the larger but also smaller counties, towns, and cities that have these. So while Roanoke County usually is on the edge of innovation and future items. This was one that was left out. So we hope it stays around for a long time after we're gone too. So thank you for your work on that, Supervisors Mahoney and Hooker. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Okay. Okay, at that time, will the clerk please call the roll?
Mrs. Hooker,
Yes.
Mr. North,
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney,
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd,
Yes.
Mr. Radford.
Yes, the motion passed. At this time, the board will recess until the 2 p.m. session.